So I just filmed this look and was just about to film the intro for this video when I went around to just fix with the settings a bit so that it would look better, so I knew that it would be set up properly for the next time I filmed the video. My phone informed me that it had run out of storage and deleted everything. So this was gonna be your look. This look right here. Purple lips and nice golden eyes and very simple but very glowy, and I lost it all. So today was the last day that I could film. Today is 22nd of December, Thursday, and this was supposed to be the video that I was going to be releasing for you guys to put up on New Year's. But my phone is just having heating issues because of the weather. Like, it is super hot and it is humid, and I don't think my phone could handle the heat. There's no storage issue. I have a 64GB Samsung S7. Like, it's not a problem. I think it just overheated and didn't want to tell me that. Shame. But I apologize that this look will not be refilmed. It just kind of bummed me out. So instead, why don't we do like just a chat? Let me just tell you like about my year, or I don't know, I'm putting out this little PSA to apologize for the fact that my video deleted itself right in front of my eyes too. There was no cancel button. There was just, we have to delete this now. Sorry. But the good news is this video actually does, lighting wise and color wise, now look so good. I am pleased to say that I've at least finally set up my pro settings on my thing. Like, it doesn't look too bright. When I lean in, I don't look overexposed. I don't look too like vivid. I have set they have filters. I set it back to standard. I have my focus set, my white balance set, ISO is set, aperture is set. I even have the little like plus minus bit set, so that future videos will look far better. And I apologize that there's not going to be a video on this look up. I'm just kind of really disheartened about it. But what I do want to say is happy 2016. I am sorry that for some of you it was a really, really shitty year, and it wasn't great for me either. First, I lost my partner. Casey decided he was going to be leaving me, which is actually what prompted me to start doing this. He left me and I needed something to fill up my time, and I want to say thank you to everybody who watches my videos consistently and supports me consistently and sticks around even when I'm just nattering on with crap and haven't put out videos for a while for whatever reason. Then in June, I just stopped contact with Casey completely. I lost somebody who had been in my life for almost 10 years, and that really did take it out of me. That was the reason that I stopped filming and putting out videos about the middle of the year, because I was just so disheartened with my entire situation, because I'd lost the love of my life, and then I also lost my best friend. And it took me a while to realize that I deserved better. It took me a while to realize that it was good that I did that. He left me, but then I said no. I stood up for myself and I cut him out of my life, because it was very clear that he was not interested in me in any capacity anymore. So I grew from that, and then I got really inspired again. I started writing down video ideas. I have plenty of video ideas. Like, you're going to see ColourPop swatches, you're going to see lipstick swatches. I have a first impression of this foundation right here. I have a first impression for that coming up that I may actually release instead, because clearly this video didn't work. This one won't delete. I let my phone sit in the fridge for a while, so it shouldn't have a heating problem. But then, you know, I started getting a little bit better. I was really, really excited because I was going to America to meet up with some really good friends of mine again. And I took my friend Bonnie with me, and we both had a really stressful time, but a really good time. We did lots of shopping. I got my hands on lots of ColourPop. I've got a bunch of foundations that I've been wanting to try, and thank God I love all of them. There's one I haven't tried yet, but only by technicality. I bought the Rimmel Stay Matte Foundation, which is the first foundation I ever used. Funnily enough, actually, it was the foundation that I was using in August of 2014. Nope, 2015. It was the foundation that I was using. I had that foundation. I had an eyeshadow that I bought. Actually, I still own it too. I used to use the Rimmel Stay Matte Foundation in a shade Way Too Dark. I used to use this unknown brand eyeshadow, and it's apparently stuck closed. It's just gold. Just looks like this. I used a CoverGirl, the orange CoverGirl mascara, and then I had this lipstick, my first ever lipstick. This is the Maybelline lipstick. It is the matte 6 shade, and it's quite a pleasant color on me, actually. I still use it, especially when I'm just looking for like something simple. And that was it. That's all that I had for foundation. I used to rub that stuff in and pat it into my skin with my fingers. I used to have like a brush that I would put my eyeshadow on with. I would put my mascara on. I would swipe my lipstick on, and I would call that makeup. And that's what I used to do. And then last year I went and I visited Maddie and Susan in America, and I also visited my good friend Kaya that lives in America. I stayed in California with her for 1 week, and we did heaps and heaps of things together. And then I stayed with Maddie and Susan for a week, the second week in Washington, and we had heaps and heaps of fun together and did heaps of shopping. I left with those 4 products, and I came home with about 4 bags of products that I used, and I immediately fell in love with makeup. And it was thanks to Maddie, actually. If it wasn't for Maddie, I wouldn't be doing this, because I left her place and I started playing with it, and I went from being pretty average at it, like put an eyeshadow on my lids, put a lipstick on my face, to this, to what I'm doing now. And I made progress on that in a year, basically. August last year was when I went and visited them, and by the time Casey left me and I started doing these videos, I had made enough progress that I thought I was actually good enough to be doing this. So what's that tell you? Maddie's a very good teacher. She insists that I am better than her at makeup, but she lies. If you could see her wings, I'm gonna put one of her pictures here where she's got winged eyeliner on, and you tell me that she's not a flaming goddess when it comes to eyeliner. So we went and visited them again this year, just Maddie and Susan this time, and for a full 2 weeks, and I had a blast. It was stressful and things didn't go according to plan, and if anybody knows me personally, when things don't go to plan, I flip out because I don't have control of a situation anymore, and it makes me anxious and it makes me unreasonably angry. And that happened, but you know, you learn to live with the consequences, and the consequences were that maybe I only spent like $600 on makeup instead of all $900, which is why I own all of this now. I went so ham with ColourPop orders before I even left that I have an entire drawer full. This is just my eyeshadows. And if that doesn't tell you that we did way too much shopping, considering, I don't know what will. But came back from my trip and I was so tired for a while, and then I had to get doctor's appointments done, and I had to go back to therapy really quickly so that I could get back on top of everything. My poor therapist, that first day back, she was overwhelmed probably. You know, I caught back up because my trip was supposed to be a holiday where I could just shop and hang out with my friends and not have to really worry. And what ended up happening was I was really concerned for my channel, and I was really concerned about my family. I was concerned about my finances because things were just going wrong left, right, and center. Coming back was an ordeal. Like, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong on the way home. We had baggage issues. Southwest Airlines broke one of my suitcases to the point where they had to replace it with a new one. And I did the whole, I want a bigger and a better one, and I got a bigger and better one. So thank you, Southwest, for putting up with my emotional needy ass, because you actually made my trip half decent. And then, you know, I got my stuff in order, and then November kind of sucked for me for personal reasons that I don't really want to be putting on the internet, because it's just not the place for that to be. I just didn't want to really think about it too much. I spent November in my room, basically, and most of the beginning of December. But I am doing really, really well now. I took some steps forward in a lot of places in my life. I just turned 23 on the 20th of December this year, and it was good. I took a huge step forward in my life in a really, really good way, and I've made heaps of progress on the person that I am now. And this is scary to say, because Casey, thank you for being with me and teaching me what it feels like to be loved, and then leaving me and teaching me what it feels like to feel real, true heartbreak to the point where I couldn't function, because you taught me to be strong again. You taught me to be stronger and know when to draw the line and say, no, I deserve better than this. He taught me how to struggle through when, at my darkest moment, I seriously considered cutting myself open and lying on the floor and bleeding to death. And I know that's really graphic for the internet, but there was a point this year where I was just so vividly imagining killing myself that it scared me to death. Like, I thought that I was going to die at like 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the year. And I never told anybody, because I didn't want people to think that I relied so heavily on a guy. But, I mean, I did rely that heavily on a guy, to the point where I shaped my entire existence around him. My personality was Casey's girlfriend. My hobbies were whatever Casey liked to do, whatever Casey thought was good. You know, I had my own little stuff that I did, but if Casey wasn't really as interested in it, I tended to drop it. Like, I dropped off art because he just wasn't really interested in art. And I stopped reading as much because I was so focused on what he was reading, and if I didn't like it, then I didn't read at all. And this year I reshaped the person that I am. I learned more about the person that I am. I'm learning about the person that I am. I'm starting fresh. And it's scary, because if you don't know who you are when you're 23 years old, you're kind of screwed, because you're at that point where you're no longer just a young adult. You're now starting to become a person who needs to be assuring of what they want, and somebody who needs to be going into a career, and I still haven't even got a job. And where I live makes it impossible to get a job, and there's an eyelash in my eyeball. I can feel it stabbing me. I am at a point in my life where I shouldn't be, probably. I should be more aware of the person than I am. I should be more aware of the hobbies that I like, and what my sexuality is, and what my favorite color is. I didn't even know what my favorite color was until about 3 years ago. Go figure. I always thought it was purple. Apparently it's blue. Go figure. This eyeball is killing me. So yeah, I want to say thanks to Casey for teaching me true strength and resolve and how to stand up for myself. Thank you for putting me through the trials that you did and hurting me in the way that you did, because I came out better for it. I am a stronger woman. I'm a smarter woman. I'm a more self-assured woman. I am more assured in the person that I am, and the sexuality that I have, and the morals and the people in my life. I'm more conscious and better able to see things that I wasn't able to see before. Casey taught me how to not ignore things in people. My problem was previously that I would see the good in somebody to a fault, because I could no longer see the bad in them, because I was so determined to see the good, to the point where it was hurting me in my day-to-day life, where I was interacting with toxic people in the hopes that maybe there was some good in there that they would ignore, and they never would. And I would always get hurt, and I never learned my lesson. And I was so blinded by Casey and what he was doing that I was completely oblivious to everything. I was oblivious to the fact that he wasn't in love with me anymore, and that he wasn't treating me very well, and that I was not treating him very well. I'm not blameless in this by any means. I tried too hard. I manipulated him because I thought that was the only way to get what we needed to have in a relationship. I had such a warped view of what a relationship needed to be, honestly. But I'm better now, and I'm getting better every day. And if you have ever been through anything closely resembling this, heartbreak in any capacity, hurt in any capacity, you always know that there are going to be days where it comes back full force, where it feels like it just happened all over again. And I still have those days. I had a day like that when I thought I was doing really, really well, and that day turned into a week because I was so utterly blindsided by it that it took me out. As somebody with anxiety and someone who has depression, both clinically and causality through my thyroid, basically, it's why this double chin looks like this. As somebody with mental illness, in the capacity that I have it, you know, I was always so used to just, oh, today's a bad day, and so I guess I'm just gonna have a bad month then, and settling myself to the fact that it was always gonna be terrible with spots of good. I am learning to have good with spots of bad, basically. I never want to let my mental illness get the better of me again. I never want my mental illness to become my personality ever again. It took me a lot of therapy this year, and it took me a lot of heartbreak and a lot of really, really tough life lessons to get to this point. And I hope that nobody ever has to experience it. I hope nobody ever has to experience the things that I've gone through in my life to learn what I have learned. I hope that you are more born self-assured of the person that you are. I hope that you learn this stuff or develop the knowledge of this stuff without ever having to experience hardships, because nobody deserves that. This video is a rant, and I apologize that it is all just flowing conversation and that it's not really leading to much, and it doesn't seem like there's a point. But the point is, I had a really terrible year, but I made the best of it. And I hope that even if your 2016 was really just shit, if you lost somebody or something, or whatever happened to you this year, I really hope that come New Year's you take a deep breath and you leave it behind you, because you can grow and shape yourself from this hurt, and you can put it in a little box and put it up on a shelf, and you're not forgetting that part of your life. You're not forgetting the things that you've learned from it, but you're not letting it affect you anymore in a bad way. So this video is me putting my shitty year. I had a breakup, I lost someone very close to me, I lost a best friend, I lost friends, I lost family, but I'm boxing that up because I'm putting it on a shelf so that I can see the things that I gained. I gained strength, I gained intelligence, I gained wisdom, I gained confidence in my personality, I gained confidence in my body. I took steps forward in working out, you know, who I am on the inside, who I am sexually, who I am emotionally, who I am physically. I got close to some girls and guys that I didn't ever think I was going to be close to. I bonded with some friends that I've had for a very long time, and we were always close and I've always loved each other, but we bonded over some heartbreak this year, and it's made us closer than family ever could be. Actually, I want to shout out to Kim, Bonnie and Erica for sticking with my whiny, annoying ass, and a special thanks to Kaya for letting me be a little shit to you two. And I want to thank my mum for putting up with me and being proud of me no matter what. thank you, because your support this year is the reason I'm not dead. It's kind of a big thing to put on their shoulders, and I'm sorry for that. But if it wasn't for my mum, if it wasn't for Erica and for Kim and for Kaya, and if it wasn't for the sex badges for Jay and for Kelly and for Susan and Maddie and Jennifer and Elliot and Sam, actually, Samuel, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be alive, because I thought that the only thing keeping me alive was, you know, my mum. But you showed me that I needed to be alive for you guys too, so thank you. And I apologize for getting all weepy on you guys, but if you couldn't tell, this year's been kind of rough. And I am better for it. Like, I know I'm crying right now, but I am just so glad that this year happened, in the good and the bad, because I learned and I grew, and I made some really amazing friends and got closer to some friends I already had and didn't realize were there for me the whole time. I'm sorry it took so long, and I'm sorry it took such shitty circumstances to get close to you girls, but you guys are going to be in my life forever. Forever. And that's not going to change whatsoever. I love each and every one of you. Everybody who's watching this, I want to say thank you for supporting me in one of the darkest years I think I've ever had. And he's hoping that 2017 is going to be one of the brightest. Goodbye.